Okay, so I'm in Ed's studio today, and we've just been looking after the banners, making them ready for the show. Thought I'd talk a little bit about the installation in the cathedral and how we've approached it. First of all, we have to address this amazing scale of the cathedral. The cathedral is one of the largest in Britain. It's 150 years old. It has a spire which is 96 metres tall. It's the largest structure in the centre of historic Edinburgh, so it really cuts a beautiful silhouette on the skyline. And I was drawn to the cathedral for a couple of reasons, because obviously the piece is based on bell ringing, and the cathedral has an amazing community of bell ringers. And some fantastic set of 12 bells which were cast in the John Taylor Loughborough works back in 1879. So there's obviously a tie there to the theme of the installation and the actual day-to-day function of the cathedral. And the cathedral's been lucky enough to have a set of bell ringers there continuously since 1879, which is really extraordinary. Secondly, obviously, the scale of the cathedral suits the size of the banners that Ed has designed. As you may know from the other videos, that they're incredible 33 metres long. In fact, they're longer than that. They were doubled over and stitched so that it could be seen from two sides. So we need to find a situation where they can suit the scale of the proposal, and for that we chose St Mary's Cathedral and its crossing, which is directly underneath the bell tower. And from the plan you can see it here. Has this fantastic diagonal with hidden buttressing. It's a really clever design by Gilbert Scott. And when you're approaching this, we have to work with the context that we've got, and we noticed that hidden at the springing point of the arches in the cathedral are these amazing wrought iron brackets, and this is a wee site sketch that I'd done actually using binoculars, because these brackets are 11.5 metres from the floor of the cathedral. The top of the arch is about 19 metres, and the top of the vault is 20 metres. So we're talking very large spaces. The space between the piers is just under 10 metres, and diagonally we're looking about 13-14 metres. So it's quite heroic. But focusing on what we have, there's this beautiful wrought iron bracketry which probably suspended the original lighting in the church, but has since been taken out many years ago. We thought that could be the starting point for where we could hang the installation. So after doing like preparatory observational studies, then we'd start sketching out how we could look at the potential methods of suspending these banners. This is really just a drawing that I have done for myself. I don't think anyone else would ever look at it, but it's beginning to record the dimensions and looking at the way that the drapes distend and how they would hang in a kind of stasis to fill the space. And that gives us an idea of the scale, but then we have to look at how these things are supported. And then we go back to the initial studies we've done of the bracketry and wonder how we can cost effectively and simply connect banners to these brackets. So begins a series of sketches which look at ways we can achieve this. And then on top of that, we have to look at, this is also for the 11 metre banners, this one. These are looking at how we might suspend the banners from the triforium, which are the clerestory kind of arches along the top of the main arches in the nave of the church. Again, so there's complexities in how we do this without making it too difficult or too expensive for the builder to install. And then we're beginning to look at other options, because we always have to have a plan B. If on the day we find out there's an issue with maybe the condition of the brackets, or we need to look at other ways to suspend or take the loadings of these banners, then we should always have a plan B up our sleeve. So we're also working with narrow engineers who are really well known structural engineers in Scotland, and they're also conservation engineers, so they're well versed with working with historic buildings. And with their input, we're able to look at the way that the brackets can take the loadings of these banners, and by doing calculations, we'll be able to preempt whether or not we exceed the safe loading or not. And then working with the HRH stonemasons who will install the banners, we can also glean lots of really useful information from them, because they're used to working in this space, in this cathedral. They know it intimately, and therefore they're super helpful with giving practical guidance on what may be more achievable, what is less achievable. So taking all this into account as part of the architect's job, project management, technical design, I suppose curation up to a point, but this allows us to consider how all of these factors go together, and it also allows us to put together costs to achieve this. So that's what our crowdfunding scenario is looking at, and that's what we are trying to use this information to achieve our targets. So thank you for listening, and hopefully that gives you a little insight into what an architect does and how he works with his team of artists and engineers and builders.